achieved when the following things are surrounding us. 1. Rape. 2. Defilement. 3. Child abuse.
The wars between the government of Uganda and rebel groups like Uganda People's Army, UPA, Lakwena Spiritual Movement and the Lord's Resistance Army, LRA, in northeastern Uganda have caused severe socio-economic devastation in the region. People fled their homes to live in internally displaced camps, mainly in Soroti town. Living conditions in the IDP camps were pathetic, subjecting IDPs to absolute poverty. Following the ceasefire between government and the LRA on one hand and the disarmament program of Karimojong on the other, a breath of peace in the region is being realized. Many IDPs have returned, while others seek to return to their ancestral homes. Consequently, new conflicts like land grabbing, rape, defilement, alcoholism, psychosocial are emerging as a result of the aftermath of war and poverty.
But the most frequently reported cases are always cases of domestic violence and assaults. Even when you look at our crime chart, you realize that there are so many cases of domestic violence, especially against women. And in most cases, these cases originate from the camps, where there is a lot of drinking, there is a lot of desperation, there is a lot of trauma. You find that the situation is not really okay, and the cases of violence are so high against women and maybe the children. Then, of course, there are cases of defilement. They are also often reported here, where girls below the age of 18 are involved into sex with older men or at times their age mates.
To realize lasting solutions to conflicts in the area, there is a great need to mitigate such conflicts in this society and transform it from the violent past.
And these are found mainly in those sub-counties that are close to the municipality, Soroti municipality, because there was relative peace. And so the rate of displacement was not as high as for those sub-counties that were far away from the municipality. So we started with these groups in 2004 because by then there was relative peace around the sub-counties. These are Asuret, Gwere and Arapai sub-counties. But there are those sub-counties which are at the edge and on the borders with the district of Lira and also Katak and Karamoja. Those ones have been severely affected by the insurgencies, and that's where you find the highest rate of the internally displaced persons. Now, these ones resettled at a later date.
Through its USIP 2 program, Community Integrated Development Initiatives, CIDI, is working to address the root causes of the long-term conflict and build sustainable peace in the region on a journey of peace and development. Between 2004 and 2005 in USIP 1, CIDI focused its efforts on rebuilding beneficiaries in Level 3, made up of the grassroots leaders. Using water as the entry point, CIDI conducted training workshops on peace building and conflict resolution for the local leaders, district extension workers, youth, women's groups leaders, local indigenous NGOs, residents of IDP camps, cultural and religious leaders, and local health officials.
Affect them the most.
As a result of the various trainings supported by USIP 1, CIDI developed a sustainable integrated development program that aimed at benefiting many IDPs within Soroti district who are returning to their home villages. This program engaged them into agricultural production. Interestingly, this development resulted into new conflicts caused by land grabbing. In USIP 2, CIDI has extended the skills and experience acquired during USIP 1 activities to benefit Amuria, Katakwi and Kaberamaido districts.
In USIP 1, people were facing different challenges because they were now in a conflict situation which was involving armed conflicts. And most of them had run to the camps, both women, men, children and girls. To date, people are returning back home after peace has been secured. Now, the nature of conflicts now have changed. All statistics on the ground show conflicts are ranging to land. In fact, land is the most crucial issue. Then defilement and all these other related. Now, thefts and all this. Now, this needs to be tackled more systematically because people are trying to find out where their land used to pass, the demarcations were not clear. This is a region where land has been owned communally. And now, exactly defining where you are passing is a problem. And people are not taking chances, they're going to each other's throat. The Uganda Human Rights Commission has regarded these conflicts, is giving backup support. We have worked with them very closely to support our cause, and whatever we receive, we also give them. The other one is not the physical ones, which ably are seen in a conflict situation. Now there is the psychosocial part of it. People were stressed, people were traumatized, more than what can be seen. But their actions on the ground show that their all is not well. They are not normal.
A workshop on conflict resolution and peace building targeting level 2 leaders is in progress here at Soroti Lions Club in Soroti town. Workshops are key activities used by CIDI staff to share out experiences. Participants included the chief administrative officers from the districts of Soroti, Amuria, Katakwi and Kabaramaido, RDC of the region, school peace patrons, community development officers, local council 3 and 5 chairpersons, district police commanders of Katakwi and Amuria and Kabaramaido, and the NGO representatives advocating for peace and human rights and Soroti Regional Human Rights Commission. The workshop was opened by the resident district commissioner Arwata Joseph. In his opening remarks, he commended the input of the civil society and other actors in complementing government's efforts to provide lasting peace in the Teso region. He pledged government's full intervention and support to all peace efforts.
I come to Teso region as an RDC at a time when I think the community, the other key players and stakeholders spearheaded by government have made a lot of effort in trying to ensure that real peace, a peace where people have a sense of security, is now dawning in our home in Teso region. I want to pledge that I will be alongside you a key player in ensuring that I become one of the vehicles of transporting a pro-peace oriented approach in building the conditions in our region.
They have put crops on the ground, but they are dry.
After the RDC, the LC5 Amuria District Local Government, Honorable Ochere Julius, pointed out challenges of the resettlement program.
Affected the return of our people. Government has been talking about the return of the people, but government has been defeated in terms of making provision for social services in the areas of return. Talk about education. You are sending people to areas where a primary school is about 20 kilometers to be accessed. How will that resettlement be possible, even if my colleague, the RDC at work, is talking about it? It is one thing which has hampered the return of the people. You are talking about returning the people 20 kilometers away, there's no health facility. You are talking about people going back to the villages, roads have not been open for 20, 30 years. How do you expect human people there to survive? There's no water provision for them. Insecurity by the Karmojong warriors. You can't expect a man from Palam, from Ngariam, from Magoro to go to certain areas. No roads have been opened. The situation in Karamoja has not been handled. Now, how do you expect that man will return comfortably without an assurance? The origin of confusion and conflict in Karamoja, it traces back to food security. It traces back to challenges of needs which have not been adequately availed to the people of Karamoja sub-region. The people in Karamoja are human beings. They need food. They need all the basic social services to be adequately available to them. But they are confronted by natural occurrences which are not of their making. Say, When you talk about drought, the climate in Karamoja, when you talk about it, it's not the making of people of Karamoja. It is by birth they found it that way. But what would have been required is a state, a nation like Uganda, the local government that exists in Karamoja, international communities that on the ground, to have thought of a serious, comprehensive problem to address the problem in Karamoja, such that these wars and everything comes to an end, such that the effects of that problem in Karamoja does not spill over to the neighboring district, neighboring tribes to Karamoja. The effects of that thing has caused hostility, has developed a new culture of hostility bordering Karamoja, which now present itself as a challenge to the central government. And sometimes they have overpowered the central government, the effects which have been generated by that problem. They have overpowered the government to extend that. They have also forced the government to adopt, come up with policies which are pro-effects of the problems in Karamoja. Policies such as recruiting of militia, tribal militia, not national perspective, tribal militia. Recruit militia areas bordering Karamoja, recruit from Karamoja. What are you trying to do? You are further building a consolidated, volatile and hostile culture within these communities.
By ensuring basic food security, food aid can promote stability and help communities resist renewed calls for militant violence.
Now, this afternoon we have been making a presentation regarding the role of food in conflict situations. And we are saying food is a weapon. But we are saying also food is a right. And nobody should deny people food. But we are saying we have seen in states where people are denied food and accessibility to eat. We have seen in other states where food is being used as a weapon for fighting out enemies. And we are saying this methodology is long outdated. It cannot be allowed. The international community pronounced itself on it at different forums, and it was denounced. Therefore, we want our participants and our leaders at this level to understand how they can lobby for services which are not readily available in their areas. We want them to understand that these services are key and they're entitled to these services. Therefore, we are giving them the skills, how they can use lobbying and advocacy in a bigger way to solicit from those who have for their own people, so that they can put up spirited kind of reasoning and logic to convince those who have to have them what they deserve to have. Therefore, we expect them to lobby their MPs. We expect them, when they are making their district budgets, to slaughter in disaster preparedness components. We expect them even to lobby the government in power so that it can look at the region with its vulnerability and assure them of how best it can deal with them to sort out their challenges. That's what we are now crusading this afternoon.
My needed expectation when I read the letter, I knew that I'm coming to acquire more knowledge on peace resolution, on peace and conflict resolution, and also to acquire more methods of handling peace education at the school level. Because we have a problem, some teachers believe that it is only the Patron Peace Club who should handle the aspect of what? Peace.
Following the number of wars we've had here in Teso, we've had numerous wars, and Soroti municipality is a host of all such conflicts. And whenever it comes in, we carry the burden. So the topics today handle the peace building and conflict resolution. That one mainly, it really builds my capacity, because when you handle issues to do with the social welfare cases, sensitizing communities and mitigating their conflicts, we are addressing the issues of peace building, which I feel it is paramount for this particular workshop.
After the presentations by facilitators, participants were later grouped into 3 groups to discuss different questions on peace building. The groups later presented their findings to the rest of the participants.
These peace clubs in schools, there should be a patron. A teacher should be responsible for these peace clubs, and we should have a patron who is a peace. And we are trying to put a caution here. When we are talking about the media, yesterday our facilitator was telling us that media sometimes can be very detrimental. So we are saying, when we are making now the talk shows, it should be somebody who goes to give a talk show should talk about the lessons.
Olupot William of Katakwi Primary School has just returned to his workplace from the workshop. He is already working with the school's Peace Club to prepare for a presentation at the school. The presentation will include performance of peace songs, a play, poems and dances. This is what the song presented in Ateso is saying. When will Teso realize peace? Teso has suffered for over 50 years due to cattle rustling. Not long ago, the Karimojong attacked Ngariam, Apeoru, Aodoto and killed up to 30 people. In the midst of that confusion in 2003, LRA attacked Teso from the north, killing children, abducting them, burning houses and destroying food. We are asking God for a way to build a home in heaven for the Ateso and leave the Karimojong on earth. Some people have come